Hello, children. I welcome you to the second session of the chapter that is Understanding Modern Indian History. In the previous class, I discussed what is history. History is a branch that records, analyzes the past events and happenings. History is divided into three periods: ancient, medieval, and modern. This division of history into three periods is known as periodization. Then I discussed about James Mill, a Scottish philosopher, economist. He said that Indian history should be divided into three segments. He even wrote this in his book, A Work of British India. The title of the book was A Work of British India, in which he wrote that Indian history should be divided into Hindu history, then Muslim history, and then British history. It was very, very shallow on his part because there were other religions also which existed, and then the way he showcased that Indians were very, very backward before the advent of the Britishers. So this again, made his book A History of British India very, very controversial. Then there are historians of the opinion that instead of calling modern period, so it should be called colonial period, because at that point of time the Indians did not enjoy freedom like it was enjoyed by the citizens of other countries. Rather, it should be called colonial period. Then we discussed that dates are very, very important in history, and incidents should always be arranged in chronological order. I discussed that, historians and their interest vary, and so for different historians, different dates could be of great importance. Then, sources of information about the modern history. What are the various sources of information about the modern history? We have the National Archives of India, which was established in New Delhi in the 1920s. It houses all the documents of the British period. The Britishers also maintained a room where they preserved all the administrative accounts. Now, these record rooms and the documents have been shifted to National Archive of India. It includes firmans, administrative orders, old books, and they are of great importance to study the modern history. Then we have the National Museum in New Delhi, which tries to reconstruct the past. See, you must have seen that crime, scenes are reconstructed by CID, by police. The same way, the National Museum in New Delhi and other museums try to reconstruct, yes, the period. They try to reconstruct history. I have been to various museums where they showcase, say, Jallianwala Bagh incident. I have been to Punjab where in the museum they have beautifully showcased the history, the modern history. So the museums also play a very important role. We have the National Museum in New Delhi, and other museums which try to reconstruct past so that we can learn from our past. Then the Britishers always did surveys. They were very, very systematic in their approach. They did surveys. Why they did surveys? Because they wanted to know which type of crop could be grown where. They wanted to understand from where they could get maximum tax, where to levy tax, where not to levy tax. When they came from Europe, they did not like India's harsh climate, and so they surveyed India so that they could develop a place, a hill station for themselves, and this is how Dalhousie and other hill stations came into being. In fact, Dalhousie is named after Lord Dalhousie only, right? So they came into being. They were not used to such a scorching heat, such harsh climate, so they surveyed India so that they could understand where they could, you know, where they could develop their own civilization, or where they could develop their own culture, traditions, and which place would be favorable for them. These surveys help them to increase their revenue. These surveys help them to develop various places, various hill stations for themselves. These surveys provided them information about the size and distribution of population, caste, religions, occupations, and these surveys are of great importance to us now. We are able to understand about the demographic structure, about the kind of population which was there at that point of time. The Britishers also got various monuments built, right? They got a Victoria Memorial in Kolkata, Victoria Terminus in Mumbai, Fort William in Kolkata, Rashtrapati Bhavan built. Then they also founded towns such as Shimla, and they called it their summer capital. So, these monuments, these towns, and the maps, the surveys are of great importance to us now. Besides this, there had been many foreign accounts also, such as Vincent Smith, Max Muller. They all wrote about. So writers like Vincent Smith, then Max Muller wrote about Indian history. Then the Indian leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, they wrote about the British rule. Of course, that's unbiased account which tells about the modern history or the colonial period. Then newspapers of that point of time. Those newspapers are of great importance to us. Those newspapers try to stir the feeling of patriotism. Those newspapers try to mobilize the Indians to fight against the atrocities subjected to the Indians by the Britishers, to promote the feeling of nationalism, national consciousness, to unite and to raise their voices. And these newspapers at that point of time were of great importance because they mobilized people. Now they are of great importance because they help us to understand our past better. They help us to understand our history better. Then Raja Ram Mohan Roy started a newspaper which is known as Miratul Akbar. Then Bal Gangadhar Tilak started with Kesari in Marathi and Maharatha in English. These newspapers are of great importance. Then the maps, the photographs, the motivational songs, the radio broadcasts by our Indian leaders, they all are of great importance. And the motivational songs, the photographs, the radio broadcasts are also preserved in the All India Radio's archives. However, the historians need to cover that extra mile because at that point of time, education was not extended to every Indian. There was illiteracy, the Britishers did not do much to spread education, the masses were illiterate, and they did not write about their lives. To understand about their lives, we need to collect the artifacts, the objects, so that we can understand our history better, we can learn better. With this, I wind up the chapter, that is understanding modern Indian history, the first chapter of social science. And I request all of you to take very good care of yourselves. Thank you and have a great day ahead.